What's going on, gamers? It's your boy Daily Tactics here, and today we have a very exciting Ultimate Epic Battle Simulator 2 video. We have the entire US Army here, comprised of Thompson machine gunners, shotgunners, and 100 Shermans. They total 100,100 soldiers. And they are fighting the entire medieval army. These guys are comprised of 3 million foot soldiers, 100,000 catapults, and they've also got 1 million archers behind them. It is going to be one crazy battle. All-out warfare. Medieval soldiers versus World War II. Begin! Alright, gamers, so the medieval soldiers are extremely spread out here, coming forward on all areas of the battlefield. Meanwhile, since there are far less of the World War II soldiers, these guys are mainly coming down the middle here. Maybe a couple, a few are going to stretch out on the flanks, it seems, but not too many. Mainly, we're going to have a center force of World War II soldiers. And actually, already, there have been 10,000 dead medieval knights, and that's just because they're falling off of the cliffs on these rocks and things like that, which is causing their deaths. So, kind of funny, kind of goofy. Probably won't impact the battle too much, since that is not even 1% of their force. It's like 0.001% of their force or something like that. But still, I guess it's a good thing for the World War II soldiers. They don't have to deal with 11,184 medieval knights. They only have to deal with 3 million. So, I guess that's a good thing. Either way, guys, if you enjoy these battles, please be sure to hit that like button. It really does help me out so much in the algorithm. Let's try and get 1,000 likes in the first 24 hours if possible. Also, subscribe if you have not already. We're working our way towards 500k, hoping to hit that by the end of 2022. And comment down below who you think is going to win, the medieval knights or the World War II army, who is so horribly outnumbered by the medieval knights. Here we go. The start of the conflict should be going on soon. It's like that scene in Monty Python where they're all running through the field or whatever. That's exactly what this is, baby. Alright, here we go. First shot of the World War II soldiers getting shot out against these medieval knights here. They are taking a little bit of damage. No one's really dropping just yet. There we go. Now they're starting to drop as the damage begins to add up on these medieval soldiers. Their chainmail somehow managing to stop a few bullets here and there. It's a beautiful thing. They're blacksmiths, the finest in all of the land. Either way, now they're definitely dropping pretty wholeheartedly here as the World War II soldiers continue to take their pot shots at these guys. Some of them are getting pretty close to the front lines, and I think that definitely we will see a few of them starting to slash out at some of these World War II soldiers. But hopefully, World War II soldiers can take out enough of them that it makes every soldier's life worth it. Look, the body piles are already starting to go up here. This World War II soldier is taking some damage as the medieval knights stab at him, and he does go down. The first real casualty. Actually, there's been 37 real casualties for the World War II soldiers here. But we do have some Sherman shots coming out now and sprinkling the medieval knights here. We can see them just sort of randomly hitting, big boom booms in the battlefield, and medieval knights getting their salads tossed by some HE shells. They're just flying through the air, baby. You gotta love that. Right now, we do have mainly shotgunners on the front lines, and that does make sense because they have less range. They're going to run up right into the zombies' faces in order to start killing them. A few of them are just going really far forward, and I don't understand why they're choosing to do this. You really don't have to go this far forward, guys, but it's what they want to do, so I guess we're going to let them do it. They're just going to full charge forward. Ja, jawohl. Oh, wait, that would be the German army. Yes, sirree, Bob. That would be the U.S. Army. Why, fiddlesticks. It's World War II. Therefore, our English language is fairly archaic. Yes, sir. You know, well, leaping lizards, Harry. Isn't that crazy? Alright, on the right flank over here, we have less Shermans helping out, but we do still have some soldiers. I think what could end up happening during the battle, if it lasts long enough, is that these right flanks will end up going down because of the lack of soldiers, and then the middle will have to survive a whole lot more enemies. But as it stands right now, we are starting to have some of these catapults come forward, and they're already taking damage, by the way. Just the extra spray bullets are randomly hitting the catapults here and there, causing their deaths. So the catapults might not even be able to really get far enough forward without taking so much damage to actually kill some of these guys, because the catapults are so large. Their hitboxes are massive, and they're just taking these stray bullets randomly and then breaking, making it very, very difficult for them to actually unleash any of their payloads here. The medieval archers, I don't really see any here. They might be further back in the lines, I'm guessing. Yeah, I really don't see much in terms of medieval archers on the battlefield right now. There are just like randomly dead medieval soldiers way out here too. Maybe that's from Sherman shots, flinging them in the air or something along those lines. That could be that. I'm not entirely sure. But medieval archers, I think, will make a huge difference in this battle for the medieval army here. Look at this. They're flooding through every nook and cranny of this battlefield, coming forward to take their stabs at the defending World War II soldiers. Well, they're also technically attacking, but, I mean, you get my point. Look at this massive body pile already building up here, which is actually good and very advantageous for these medieval soldiers, because the body pile allows them to not get shot by a lot of incoming fire, since it essentially protects them. So these dead, fallen medieval soldiers have actually done a service for the rest of the medieval army here, and will allow them to come further forward. Either way, we do have 680 dead World War II soldiers and 260,000 dead medieval soldiers. I am starting to see some catapult shots end up impacting this battlefield, so I think deaths are going to increase here for the World War II soldiers. And I think the only reason we're actually seeing these catapult shots actually land on the battlefield is because the World War II soldiers came forward. If they'd had stayed in the back lines, I think these catapult shots wouldn't be happening, because they were picking off the catapults pretty easily. But because the U.S. Army is also attacking pretty wholeheartedly here, it is resulting in some catapult shots actually hitting them. And now there are 1,600 dead World War II soldiers and 325,000 dead medieval soldiers. Oh, lots of catapult shots coming around these flanks over this way. Yeah, there's a whole army of catapults right over here, all just unleashing their payloads into the U.S. forces over this way. Look at this. Yeah, there's going to be some mass casualties over this way for the U.S. forces because of these catapults over here. Yeah, they're tossing them. There you go. There you go. 2,500 dead U.S. forces now, and increasing a lot. Those catapults also making way for medieval footmen to get nice and close to the U.S. soldiers here. They're getting in melee distance here because those catapults are taking out the U.S. forces and scattering their forces and making them less viable of a fighting force. So the medieval footmen are able to get nice and close in there. We are now looking at 4,000 dead U.S. soldiers, which is 4% of their total strength, and 440,000 dead medieval soldiers. I don't know what percentage that is. I am not a math major. I was a history and communications major, so I don't know. Either way, the middle's still holding definitely the strongest, but like my theory said, the flanks taking some serious damage in this thing. 6,000 dead U.S. soldiers, almost 500,000 dead medieval soldiers now. Let's go ahead and do a little bit of a time lapse. Let's do a time lapse actually of the medieval soldiers running forward. Maybe like right around here would be kind of cool, so we can see some shots hitting them. Yeah, let's do this. Alright, I think definitely throughout this time lapse, we've actually seen the medieval army make some gains here. They have lost 1 million soldiers at this point, which is nothing to scoff at, but the U.S. forces have now lost 32,000 soldiers themselves. So actually, if you're kind of doing the math here, they're both on par to, you know, lose this battle or win this battle. They're pretty much even in terms of their ratio of losses to, you know, victories here. My dog Scout is licking my microphone right now. Okay. This video is now featuring Scout. Yeah, so they're doing actually pretty well, both sides, you know, which could be a surprise to either of you if you thought, oh, there's no way the medieval soldiers win this, or if you thought, oh, there's no way the World War II soldiers win this. You know, I think both definitely have a chance, a possibility of making this happen at this point in time. My bet is still on the World War II soldiers, but I think the medieval soldiers could definitely do this. There's a bunch of archers now sort of at the front here firing out, so we're seeing a lot more arrow fire going into the World War II soldiers, which could be accounting for a lot more of their deaths. Arrows in this game aren't super powerful, but they certainly do make an impact. So I think that might be one of the major reasons why we're seeing more World War II deaths, is because that archer army is finally coming forward and lending support to the footmen. So the flank over here for the U.S. forces is now completely destroyed. I am wondering if there's any World War II forces over this way, all the way out. There's certainly some sort of... Oh, yeah. Oh, there's been World War II forces over here for a while, apparently, taking on a massive army. We're seeing random Sherman shots hit them, and that's pretty cool. That's pretty baller right there. So there must be a Sherman or two up here sprinkling some fire down, although I don't see where it is. Interesting. Either way, yeah, there seems to be these guys holding the flank over here, but they might get flunked themselves because this medieval army did wipe out the World War II army over here. Now they are encircling that middle position like I sort of predicted that they would, which is very, very bad, and more catapult shots coming in, which is a problem. Looks like now we're looking at 1.4 million dead medieval soldiers and 54,000 dead World War II soldiers. So the medieval soldiers have definitely taken the advantage a little bit here and made a smidge of a comeback at the very least, at least a tiny one. Not good for the World War II soldiers in the slightest to be seeing that, but they've still got a very good chance at victory here. We're watching the Sherman just try their best to survive, but they do end up getting blown up right there. Out of existence. They no longer exist, in fact. Oh, look at this. Medieval soldiers charging up a mound of dead bodies to attack 2 World War II tanks. That's so cool. Oh, and there's some infantry here trying to protect them as well, but they're getting stabbed by the squires that are coming forward. Oh my god. This is so cinematic and so cool. A huge reason why I just absolutely fell in love with Ultimate Epic Battle Simulator 2, man. It's just such an unbelievably good game. Arrow fire also coming in here, dinking off of the Shermans pretty much. Yeah, you can see it just not having any effect on the Shermans at all. 1.5 million dead medieval soldiers, 60,000 dead World War II soldiers. Those 2 Shermans do end up going down right there. Do they have any reinforcements coming from the back? No, it doesn't look like it. They have pushed forward. I mean, these were in the initial body piles, and now they're all the way up here. So it's kind of a massive push forward, if we're being honest. Now let's go ahead and check the sides over here too. We have, oh, medieval soldiers have completely overrun any World War II army that was protecting this area over here, and it looks like there probably was one, but they are now dead and gone. From an overhead view, it's really shocking that the medieval army is able to accomplish anything under this just absolutely stifling fire from the U.S. forces. Those soldiers we were just looking at a moment ago are coming in on the flank now and starting to take some stabs at more World War II soldiers close up here. So these guys are going to have to shift over to cover their flank now, which will be a massive pain, I'm sure, for them. But yeah, if you just look at the overhead battle, it's like the U.S. is just putting so much fire output out there. It's hard to imagine the medieval forces winning this, but still, medieval forces are now at 67,000 kills, and the U.S. is only at 1.7 million. The U.S. has slowed down its killing, and the medieval forces have sped up their killing, which just makes it very, very difficult for the U.S. Army here. I love this body pile defense that we got going on here. It just looks so unbelievably cool. We do have a lot of arrows coming up over the top now and hitting some of these World War II soldiers here. It does take a bunch of arrows to kill one soldier, but there's just so many coming in that it is very, very difficult for them to prevent losses here. The Sherman's coming in strong, whipping around, trying to get some fire out there. A lot of people were saying that they love the feature with the Sherman being able to run through the crowds of troopers and actually run them over. That would be very, very cool. I don't know how hard it would be for the development team to actually program that, but that would be just so unbelievably sick to see. We do have more catapults coming in to fire. There's not a lot of catapults left, really. I mean, if you look at the overview, there's there's just little pockets of catapults. I think most of them died in the initial charge, so whatever catapults are coming in, it's like lucky that they survived. And there's really not that many catapult rocks coming in either. U.S. forces now at 71,000 deaths, 1.8 million medieval soldier deaths. It's coming down to the wire here, baby. Why don't we go ahead and do a little time lapse of like the body pile here. Alright, that time-lapse essentially depicted the demise of those soldiers we were watching right there. It lasted a bit. 83,000 dead World War II soldiers, which is only like 20,000 or so remaining, but 2.2 million dead medieval soldiers. So, I mean, the World War II soldiers certainly do still have a shot at winning this thing. It's certainly going downhill, but I wouldn't say that this is completely over just yet. There's still a lot of medieval soldiers after all, but the World War II soldiers have guns on their sides, and their strongest force is in the middle. They have the most Shermans in the middle, they have the most soldiers compact and tightly in the middle over here too. This could be the defense that they need to secure the victory. Also, the footmen are not reaching them very close in the middle, mainly just on this left flank over here, where there is a large concentrated portion of Sherman. So, I think the World War II soldiers could have it. I'm a believer, I'm not a doubter. But maybe it's just false hope that I've got here. We are seeing a small squad of World War II soldiers slowly but surely getting encompassed over here. These guys are definitely going to die. There's no chance that these guys manage to live through this. I mean, look at this. This is brutal. Shermans are trying to provide some cover fire to get those guys out of there, but they're just stuck. They're just stuck, surrounded by squires slashing at them. Oh yeah, they're goners. They are goners. Look at those Sherman shots though. Those Shermans are trying in vain to protect these guys. They're trying so hard, but it's just no dice. Those guys are dead. Oh, rip. We are now seeing more flanking going on by the medieval soldiers. They're able to just come all the way around now, and this could definitely be where the end is coming for the World War II soldiers here. I mean, just this massive flank is causing them to split their force and protect their flanks. It's not good. It's really not good. I think we are in the end game now. It's just a matter of the medieval soldiers coming around, completing the flank, and cutting them all off. I mean, these Shermans are basically goners now, trying their best to hold out, protect themselves, but the encompassment is really, really hard. We're looking at 94,000 dead World War II soldiers, 2.35 million dead medieval soldiers. And here we have it, the final encompassment here. The end of days for the World War II soldiers. And they're just about dead here. Yep, there you go. Medieval Knights do win. The World War II soldiers did get 2.35 million kills, which is pretty impressive. But it just wasn't enough. It just wasn't enough. It's so sad. They were so close too. I feel like if they had maybe 50k more soldiers, they would have had this in the bag, but sadly they did not. Either way, guys, that is going to be the end of today's video. Thank you so much for watching. I really do hope you enjoyed this video. Please be sure to hit that like button if you did, subscribe if you haven't already, and comment down below if you'd like to see some more. Alright guys, peace! I hope you guys enjoyed that video. Be sure to click that subscribe button for more content, and hit the notification bell if you'd like to be alerted to whenever I live stream or upload. Thanks so much.